This one here is more personal, you know, because you both have seen our film Goodbye Promise.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of in an interesting, we're kind of in an interesting predicament here, as you know, the response so far has been critically, you know, maybe more favorable than we ever could have imagined for just such a small little film where we're just rolling the camera. And so our initial plan all along has been we're going to do our 1 week run in LA and then we're going to release it online. And now all of a sudden we're starting to get some feedback that, you know what, you guys should maybe, instead of doing that immediately, maybe you guys should try to see if you can get it over to New York to try to get the New York Times and some of the media there.
Sure.
What do you guys think? I'm kind of leaning on you here for, you know, I'm leaning on your shoulder here to, you know, opening up my ears.
I definitely think for both of us, we have small films that we need to get as much press as we can to help spread the word, because there's only so much our circles can reach, because, you know, we have our online circles, we have our social network, and I know there are limits to that. And so for us, I mean, it is why here at Dance with Films we hired a publicist. We're really trying to just get as much press out there, because we want to have some random person read that. There's just more of a chance of people, you know, doing things like talking to you guys, because if we can reach these different circles, it's just going to help increase that word of mouth. And I think that's a great idea to try, and that's what we're trying to do with film festivals. We're trying to play LA, we're trying to play somewhere on the East Coast, we're trying to you know, hopefully play like, you know, Toronto Independent next to the Toronto Film Festival. You know, we're trying to play somewhere in Europe. You know, we're really trying to play those things, because then hopefully we get press around those things that then help the word of mouth online.
Because it's one thing, I mean, access is one thing, and it's fantastic to just say like, yep, the film is online. But without curators to guide people to find it, then they would never find it.
So and I think like if you can get, you know, the curators for your film, if you can get that without doing the run in New York, great. If getting the run in New York helps you get that, awesome. Do whatever it takes to help you get those things, because, for instance, we released our first feature film free online, and the only reason it's getting play is because I'm reaching out to blogs that hit our target audience, asking them to please watch the film, and if they like it, then write about it on their blog. And then we'll get, you know, like a couple hundred hits straight from that blog post that otherwise would have never happened. So it's just really trying to really target exactly and finding those little pockets and kind of doing a crowdsourcing, you know, a little bit with, and then hopefully you hit like a hammer to nail review, and then it just goes, you know, like kind of thing. So it's just all about reaching those people that you need to reach that are your audience. So.
And how much thought went into that, to releasing your first film online for free? Like, is that something you deliberated on?
That was something that it came to a point where we're like, why is it not online?
Like, exactly.
Like we literally, I kid you not, this happens more and more now, which is really starting to scare me that we've been together this long. We now complete each other's thoughts so much. It's not just cute, it's kind of borderline scary. But literally I called him on the phone. I was driving home and I was like, we need to release Perfect 10 online. He's like, I literally had that thought this today about that.
Yeah, I was driving to work and was like, why is this not just on, why don't we put it on Vimeo or something? It's ridiculous. And then 3 hours later.
And so we're one of the few feature films on Vimeo, and we know Jason, I'm totally Jason Sondy, who works for Vimeo now. He also runs Shorts of the Week, shortoftheweek.com, which is a great site if you're a short, releasing your short online to try and get curated on there. But he saw that we had our feature on there, and so he put it in this special group of like feature films on Vimeo. And so we get a number of plays just from that, because we're in the minority of a full feature film on Vimeo. So.
But, you know, I mean, the great thing about, and this was a luxury that not every filmmaker is going to have, obviously, but with Perfect 10, like, we were in this weird situation where we happened to have enough money to make the movie in the bank, so we didn't have to incur any debt to make it. So when we were done making it, we were like, oh, okay, we're not, it's fine. So so it's not like we haven't felt compelled, like, well, shoot, we've got 40 grand in credit card debt we've got to pay off, like, what are we going to do with this movie? It was really just like, you know, we played a few festivals, and, you know,
people resonated with it.
And then we were just like, oh shoot, it's not doing any good just sitting on our shelf. Like,
but it's finding a second wind, which is great, which is what you want.
But it is funny now though, like, you know, having just finished this movie, which is, I mean, technically leaps and bounds above our first film, and that's the way it should be. Like, every movie should be better than the last one, otherwise what the hell are we doing? So it's like, you know, having that out there, I'm like, but it's not representative of what we're doing now, because it's like 2 years old. But
it's still,
people dig, you know, if people like it and they find it, then I'm absolutely happy.